The silence of the night consumes the fading sounds of the night creatures. Only twinkles of the stars beaming in the dark. But all of a sudden, the serene night is disrupted by a deafening bang, followed by mortar fire. This is what you could call a typical night here in Somalia. This is what these soldiers wake up to every day since the incursion into the troubled nation by the Kenya Defense Forces and by extension African Mission in Somalia, or AMISOM. 22,000 troops deployed under the aegis of the African Union have been fighting a costly war here.
If we notice anything that maybe comes or approaches the defensive position that is unusual, we raise an early warning to the rest of the troops so that we can have a good response.
It's a war that left infrastructure dilapidated and a country dysfunctional. A new dawn now beckons. At least a semblance of peace and sanity is in the offing in a country that has known no peace for decades.
People could not land here the way you have just landed. Yourselves, you landed, you have never heard the sound of a bullet. That was not possible before AMISOM came here.
While pockets of militants still remain in and out of the remote areas of Somalia, most of the militants have been flushed out of urban areas. Somalia's capital city, Mogadishu, has been a major casualty, bearing the brunt of the civil war. And so the soldiers prioritized seizing the city from the Al-Shabaab insurgents. The weight of this helmet is about 3 kilograms. The weight of this body hammer is about 10 kilograms. That's the weight one has to bear to walk freely in the streets of Somalia. The same weight our soldiers are here to lift from the shoulders of the Somali people.
These are not easy decisions to take. The decisions that cost lives, cost resources, cost many things, and yet the clarity of mind and the steadfastness of the government made it that, well, this sacrifice is necessary and it's worth it.
Although building a functional state has been an uphill task since the fall of the military regime, a reasonable milestone has been made. Mogadishu has now a functional government with a mayor at the helm.
The challenge now we face, which makes Mogadishu the unique city around the globe, is we have over 500,000 internal displaced people in the city.
To win the war against Al-Shabaab, the troops regrouped into regions or sectors. Kenya, Uganda, Burundi, Djibouti, Ethiopia each have a sector to man. It's an approach that has pushed the Al-Shabaab militants almost into the periphery.
Before, if you recall, previously there used to be a lot of pirates. And I'm sure you have not heard of any pirates anymore, thanks to AMISOM.
The Kenya Defense Forces occupies Sector 2 region, the expansive area along the Kenya-Somalia border. KDF has kept its grip in Afmado and the Dobli regions with a staggering success against the Al-Shabaab militia.
We are fighting an enemy who is actually watching me and probably planning to come for my head. I'll tell him, come on brother, come baby, come.
The enemy has equally adopted a survival tactic by accusing the soldiers of a plot to divert their religion and culture.
They have brothers and sisters in Al-Shabaab side, so they will still fall onto the propaganda being propagated by.
And these people want to kill and yet claim that they do it on behalf of God. Which God is that kills? God gave life
occasional flooding in Kenya Defence Forces area of operation, especially in Afmado, sometimes slowing down the mission. This is what really happens on an average day as our soldiers try to secure Somalia. But terrain worsened by impromptu rains. The use of improvised explosive devices has also turned out to be a weapon of choice by the militants against the KDF soldiers, with fatalities. The United Nations is countering this by introducing anti-improvised explosive devices training. For instance, this mobile machine can detect, capture in camera, and inspect a car for explosives. But with the ground operation proving tricky due to the continued use of improvised explosive devices, the KDF soldiers have resorted to using air surveillance and aerial attacks with commendable results.
We are trained well. We have got maneuvers that we can carry out to maneuver such kind of weapons. And in fact, they don't even have RPG alone. They have a weapon called ZU.
And it's not all warfare in Somalia. The soldiers have created a rapport with the locals here. On this particular day, the Kenya Defence Forces football team from Dobli Base and the local youth football club played a friendly match in which the youth emerged winners, taking home a trophy and some soccer kits. KDF is also operating an equivalent to a level 2 hospital at its Dobli headquarters.
Jina yangu ni Ismail. Mimi naishi hapo Dobli. So kuna meno ilikuwa inauma. So nilikuja hapo ya daktari wanisaidie, wanitoa hiyo meno. Imesaidika kabisa.
The soldiers also offer medical services at the only district hospital at Afmado.
Our presence here has really made a big impact. We can say that we have been able to create that confidence in them, considering the local population itself doesn't have the professional doctors and nurses are available.
The military incursion in Somalia is not in vain. Kismayu Airport is an example. The facility is fully operational following its seizure from the Al-Shabaab militants.
With the support of the Kenyan forces, we were able to reach where we are today, and we really appreciate.
Close to 2 decades, the Kismayu seaport has been under the hands of the insurgents. The port is up and running now thanks to the AMISOM and by extension the Kenya Defence Forces. The two facilities are in Jubaland state of Somalia, which has its own president, Mohamed Islam.
As Al-Shabaab, the heart of snake, is in this area because of geographical environment.
With Somalia trying to steady its feet, AMISOM is working on a gradual transition plan that will see the federal government of Somalia take over.
How it will go, we shall know when we get there.
But is Somalia ready to be on its own? Samson Kitavi reporting for Channel 1 News.